The crystal glass slipped for half a second in Maya Johnson's hand, not enough for anyone to notice, but enough for her heart to stutter. "Bring her to me." The words cut through the low hum of the gala like a blade through silk. Every conversation in the ballroom seemed to pause. The waitstaff froze. Maya felt the weight of 100 unspoken assumptions settle on her shoulders as she stood near the edge of the room, a silver tray balanced perfectly against her palm, champagne flutes catching the light of 1,000 chandeliers. She had heard that voice before. Everyone in the room had. Elliot Crane, tech billionaire, media darling, the man whose name was etched onto buildings, foundations, and futures. The guest of honor tonight. And he was pointing directly at her. Maya had learned long ago how to disappear in plain sight. She moved quietly, efficiently, always smiling just enough. At events like this, black tie galas with tickets that cost more than her monthly rent, she was invisible by design. People talked over her, around her, sometimes through her, as if she were part of the decor. Tonight was no different. The Grand Meridian Hotel glowed with wealth. Men in tailored tuxedos, women in gowns that shimmered like starlight, laughter that rang just a little too loud. Maya had been assigned to the west wing of the ballroom, circulating with drinks, refilling glasses before anyone had to ask. She preferred it that way. No questions. No explanations. Just work. As she moved through the crowd, she noticed small things others missed. A woman near the bar nervously twisting her ring, a young waiter whose hands shook every time he poured wine, an older man standing alone by the window, staring not at the skyline but at his own reflection. Maya paused beside him. "Sparkling or still, sir?" she asked gently. The man blinked, surprised, then smiled with visible relief. "Sparkling, please. Thank you." When she handed him the glass, their fingers brushed. He nodded once, deeply, as if she'd done more than pour water. She moved on. That was Maya's quiet gift, attention without expectation. Kindness without performance. No one in the room knew that earlier that day, she'd skipped lunch so her little brother could eat. No one knew she'd worked a double shift the night before, or that she carried flashcards in her apron pocket to study between tables, dreaming of a future that felt both close and impossibly far. And no one, absolutely no one, knew the history she shared with the man now staring at her from across the ballroom. Elliot Crane hadn't planned to attend the gala. He rarely did these days. After decades of headlines and handshakes, the rooms all blurred together. Same speeches, same applause, same carefully curated generosity. But this gala was different. It honored community initiatives, grassroots programs, small organizations that didn't usually get his attention. Or so his assistant had said. Elliot stood near the center of the room, a half-full glass of whiskey in his hand, barely listening to the board member droning on beside him. His eyes scanned the crowd, detached, until something tugged at a memory he hadn't touched in years. A voice. Soft, steady, familiar in a way that made his chest tighten. "Sparkling or still, sir?" Elliot turned, and there she was. Not the waitress, no, not just that. The posture, the calm in her movements. The way she listened with her whole body. The small crease between her brows when she concentrated. It couldn't be. He watched her cross the room, offering drinks, smiling politely, her presence easing people without them realizing why. A strange ache settled behind his ribs. Years ago, in a hospital corridor that smelled of antiseptic and fear, a young woman had done the same thing for him. She hadn't known who he was then. Hadn't cared. She'd just seen a man unraveling. Elliot's grip tightened around his glass. When Maya turned slightly, the light caught her face. There was no doubt. "Bring her to me," he said, louder than he intended. Maya felt it before she understood it, the shift in the room, the sudden attention pressing in on her skin. The head server hurried over, eyes wide. "Sir Crane would like to see you," he whispered, already gesturing for her to follow. Maya's stomach dropped. Had she spilled something? Said something wrong? Broken some unspoken rule? She handed her tray to another server and smoothed her uniform, her mind racing. As she walked toward Elliot Crane, the crowd parted, curiosity flickering in their eyes. She kept her gaze neutral until she stood before him. "Yes, sir," she said quietly. Elliot looked at her for a long moment. The noise of the gala faded. "Maya," he said. Her breath caught. No one here knew her name. Her composure cracked just enough for him to see it. "You remember," he said, not a question. Maya swallowed. "I remember. The people closest to them leaned in, sensing something was happening, something unscripted. You were at St. Luke's, Elliot continued, his voice low. 12 years ago. Volunteer program. Maya nodded once. Yes. My mother, he said, and for the first time that night, the billionaire CEO sounded like a son. She had early onset Alzheimer's. You used to sit with her when she got restless. Maya's eyes softened. She liked when we talked about the garden she used to have. Elliot exhaled sharply, as if the memory had knocked the wind from him. She couldn't remember my name anymore. But she remembered you. A hush settled around them. Conversations nearby had gone silent. You taught me how to talk to her, Elliot said. When I didn't know how. Maya hesitated. You were scared. Anyone would have been. I was lost, he corrected. And you stayed. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Elliot gestured to an empty chair beside him. Sit. The head server stiffened. Sir, she's my guest, Elliot said, without looking away from Maya. The room exhaled in shock. Maya remained standing. I'm working, she said softly. Elliot smiled. A real one, not the kind cameras loved. You always were. They didn't talk about money. They didn't talk about success. They talked about hospital hallways and cold vending machine coffee. About Maya's brother, who used to draw pictures for Elliot's mother and tape them to the wall. About the last day Maya had come, when Elliot had been too overwhelmed to say thank you. I looked for you, he admitted. But the program ended. Life moved. Maya nodded. It does. Elliot studied her uniform, the scuffed shoes, the tired strength in her eyes. Is this what you wanted? She considered the question. It's not where I thought I'd be. But it's honest work. And it pays for school. What are you studying? Community health. Elliot laughed quietly. Of course you are. Around them, the gala felt different now. Less polished. More human. Elliot stood. The room snapped to attention. I need everyone to hear this, he said. Maya's pulse quickened. 12 years ago, this woman gave my family something we couldn't buy. Time. Dignity. Peace. His voice wavered, just slightly. Tonight was meant to honor impact. She is what that looks like. Applause broke out, hesitant at first, then rising, filling the ballroom. Maya felt tears burn her eyes. She hadn't done anything extraordinary. She'd just stayed. Elliot turned to her. I can't change the past, he said. But I'd like to help shape what comes next. Maya met his gaze. Then help the program, she said. The volunteers. The families still sitting in those hallways. Elliot nodded. Slowly. Done. As the gala continued, Maya returned to work. But something had shifted, not just in the room, but inside her. People looked at her differently now. Some with awe, some with humility, some with gratitude they hadn't known how to express. Elliot watched her from across the ballroom, no longer seeing a waitress, but a constant thread in a life that had once nearly unraveled. And as Maya moved through the crowd again, tray balanced, smile steady, she felt the quiet certainty that kindness, once given, never truly disappears. It waits. And sometimes, it calls you forward, in a room full of light, and asks the world to finally see it.